condom. Not that. Not you streaming when I said that.
Right as this.
I really hope that's what people start off with.
Oh, right. Condoms.
Y'all, I'm a teacher. I can't be screaming that on YouTube.
All right, YouTube friends and our cast.
We're already demonetized.
You think we make money off this? Anyways, hello, welcome to the
I've
third.
seen how much prize money there is at the end of this, so no.
Hello and welcome to your third merge tribal of Distortion Survivor Timeline of Terror. We will start with Alexander. Alexander. Well, congratulations again on winning the final 12 individual immunity. How does it feel to be going into this tribal council safe?
Feels pretty great. I love not being able to get voted out. I don't know if like immunity at this tribal is any more important for me than it would be at like any specific tribal, but I'm always happy to have the safety when I can get it, and I'm glad I was able to get this one.
All right. We move on to Adam. So, Adam, last round you had returned into the game and you were granted immunity due to winning the battle back. This round, you are not immune. How are you feeling coming into this tribal?
I mean, there's nothing you can feel but unsure and unsteady. I mean, I've been voted out. I've been voted out by the three people who voted me out are still currently on this tribe. And I was also in the minority last vote. So definitely coming into this without immunity is scary. However, I think that people need to think about the long term. I mean, I've been voted out before. If you really want to have a shot to win, I think taking out someone who's already lost, I think it kind of speaks for itself. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
All right, Roberto, you were nodding your head through most of what Adam was saying. Do you agree that someone who had already been eliminated is good to keep in the game, or is it just someone who is easily expendable?
I mean, like I think like I get from Adam's perspective that it's just like it just sucks to like know that when you get voted off, you don't know exactly who to trust in that scenario. But I think it just really comes down to like where like people feel in that sense. Like if people want to do the easy vote, there's that. But obviously some people have some other agendas, but it really comes down to how people feel. But yeah, like I do I was not in my head because like I do get Adam's perspective on that. Like that's all I was saying.
All right, I'll move on to Jackie. Jackie, last round, Joppy had messaged the tribe chat saying that he was sick and did not know if he could continue in the game, and yet you still received 5 votes. How are you feeling coming into another tribal council like this?
My podcast had actually asked me that question, and I had just simply said, each round is a new round, and I can only go forward on the information I have now. Like, I will let it know there was a reason that someone else in this game didn't like me, and that is because I tend to be a bitter juror. And so I think that this round I have to really rely on the people that, say what they say and they show by doing it. And so I think I just need to hope that they continue to do that this round. And if not, I guess I'm joining Joppy in jury, and that'll be one sad fucking jury chat. I'll tell you that.
All right, let's move on to Vicky. Vicky, kind of like Adam, you did win the paperweight comp last week. You were not able to obtain a victory in Samantris. Are you a little nervous, starting off the merge immune and then coming into the next tribal not immune?
I'm gonna be so honest. If you're not nervous for this round, you must either A, have immunity, or B, think that you're pretty sitting there. Because honestly, for people that aren't nervous every single time you come to tribal, are you really playing Survivor, or are you just sitting pretty behind people that are going to win. So yeah, I am nervous and I am quaking in my little boots because I know I'm going to get votes this round. And what am I going to do about that? Absolutely nothing. The people that want to work with me, work with me. If you don't want to work with me, too bad, so sad. And that's it.
Hey.
Thank you.
All right, I'll move on to Cam because Vicky brought up something very important, and it's about the anxiety that comes when it comes to going to tribal council. Do you feel that there's an appropriate time to not be nervous at tribal council? Obviously, besides being immune.
Oh, there's no opportunity in Survivor that you're not nervous. Like, everyone knows me. I'm a fucking walking ball of anxiety every single fucking vote. Even, like, I just, if you're not, like, I agree with what Vicky said. Like, if you're not nervous, then you're not really playing Survivor.
All right, let's move on to Jonathan. Now, Jonathan, also going back to what Vicky said she's expecting votes on herself. Is this something you have heard? Is it just Vicky's name that's out there, or has it been big ball of chaos where everyone's names are out there?
Yeah, no, I've heard a few, but that is one of them for sure.
All right, I'll move on to Nick Mana. Now, in the history, timeline of terror, we talk about the history of distortion. We've seen a lot of, solo gameplay, a lot of strong alliances, a lot of vote blocks. What do you feel, especially at Final 12, where you're guaranteed a jury spot? Do you feel that alliances are stronger in this game, or do you feel that vote blocks are starting to slowly creep their way over?
That's a very complicated question. Alliances and vote blocks don't really mean anything if you don't trust the people that you're voting with. But as long as you do, what's the point in changing the game up? Because if you trust people, you might as well stick with people you trust.
All right, Lauren. Nick brought up the word trust. What is your definition of trust when it comes to Survivor, especially since a couple of people had mentioned that you should never be comfortable at tribal, so you have to put your trust into people. So what is your definition of trust when it comes to Survivor?
To me, I mean, tribal council literally shows who you can trust. I mean, the game can change at any moment, so you can't always be too comfortable. So can you really, I don't think you can trust anyone 110%. So, I mean, you can do anything to make someone mad, even people that you do trust.
All right, Mike. This brings up a good point, and you see it on the real show as well. Is like just because you're working with an alliance doesn't mean you're always going to follow the same agenda. So when it comes, what do you see the difference of trust versus safety in an alliance?
The thing about trust is a destination, and you have to get there by just how you're communicating with people, how you're talking to them, when, and more importantly, for me, when you're talking to them. If it's just kind of conversation here and there, and you're really only going to that person when you need something, that doesn't really build trust. But if you need to be open, you need to be genuine with people, and you need to just put yourself out there, and you just need to build bonds that way. So for me, trust and safety go one and the same. If I feel safe with you, I can trust you. If I trust you, I can feel safe with you. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the question, Zeb. That was great.
No problem. Brian, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, you can hear a pin drop, to 10 being, it's been chaos calls all day. People showed up to tribal because they were calling type shit. What do you rate today's tribal energy?
Well, I can only speak for myself and my perspective, but on that scale, I would say about an 8. No, but like people have said in this tribal, if you come to tribal feeling comfortable without immunity, something's up. It's probably you if you feel that comfortable. So, for myself, I don't feel comfortable, and I don't think anybody except Alex should be.
All right, and Austin, you get my favorite question. So in one word, how would you describe how people will feel after tribal council, after the votes have been read, after the person's had their final words? What do you feel, in one word, the vibe will be?
Meh.
Meh. Okay. And Billy, do you have any questions before I go to the last ones?
Do you guys feel like you guys are actually redeeming yourself in this game, or do you guys feel like you still have more to show? That's for everyone.
I mean, I already made a pass where I got voted out, so
I
Yeah,
just
I
wanted
made last by
clarify that.
placement too. I'm good.
Well, then
I
let me
just
ask you this, guys. Like, a lot of you guys have obviously, Alex Roberto had mentioned. I know Nick Last Tribal had mentioned, because they beat first boot, they're satisfied. Is placement all that you guys are playing for? Do you guys feel that just because you've passed your placement, that you're now satisfied with the way that you are playing, or satisfied in the way that you've redeemed yourself? Or is there a lot more that you obviously can't, express right now?
I will say I
Well,
feel. Oh,
sorry, go ahead, Alex.
I will say I feel like goal setting like that in games like this can be like really tricky, because it's like you can start out small and say like I just want to beat my placement, but then go to like I want to beat my placement, I want to get to the merge, I want to get to the jury, I want to make it to top 5, top 3, and then eventually, unless you win the entire game, then you're going to fall flat, because you're going to say, oh, I didn't make that goal that I wanted to. So at least for me, I'm just happy with the way I've played the game so far, and luckily I'll make it past this next round, and I hope to continue after that. And I think we all should be proud. Like, we made the merge, we made the jury. Like, look at us go.
Y'all can speak whenever. Don't need to raise your hands.
I think it's like a lot of the conversation today has been on not feeling comfortable, has been talking about trust. I feel like at the end of the day, it's really hard to build trust with people when either they're not responding to you, or you decide to give them information or tell them information just in general that people know about. Like, we all know the names that have been out here today. If I was to tell someone that I've heard Vicky's name today, that should not be a crazy, insane shock, and I shouldn't be hearing that I shouldn't be hearing that it's a shock. And so having people be, wow, I don't know, that's crazy, I haven't heard that today. Like, you realize we are at the jury portion of the game. You are sending people to the jury where they're deciding who's going to win. There's a difference in this game, and I've said it before, between lying to lie and lying because you're playing the game. And I think that is where a lot of you are really messing up right now, because we don't just have one person in this game who's known for being a bitter juror.
So I was actually going to touch on that a little bit. Like, does it, at this point in the game, does it matter about who you're putting on the jury, because there's so much gameplay left to be had? Or is it always every juror matters? Is that the way you feel? Or do you feel, hey, I could burn a juror here. Let me do something that I believe might be kind of dirty now, but I want to make it up down the line and hopefully collect their votes. Is that a process that some people are taking?
The name of the game at the end of the day is you have to get to the end in a way that this particular group of people, whoever on the jury is, respects the way that you did it. And so the person who's going to win this game is the person that's going to figure that out and do that the best way possible. If you get to the point where it's like, oh, I can burn someone here or there, can't do that, babe. It's not going to work out for you.
But in my opinion, at the same time, while jury management is a big factor in people's, or should be a big factor in people's heads, like it won't matter if you don't get to the end. So in everyone's mind, it should be first and foremost, how do I get to the end? Because as long as you get to the end, you have a chance to plead your case to the jury of your peers. At least that's my perspective.
I mean, you have
And
to do
that's why
enough
this
that they
game
don't
is
all
awesome.
hate you. Like, you'll
I
know if you're gonna lose at the end if they all hate you.
I just wanted to say, so like an example of our season, we did have someone that like got to the final 3 and didn't get any votes because he just didn't really play a very well-rounded game compared to the person who did obviously win all the votes. And I feel like I do kind of understand. I completely agree with Adam. Like it, I think the last tribal, someone had, I think it might have been Nick, who said that if you're thinking about jury management already, like you're crazy. And I do kind of agree with that because I do take it round by round, but I do also understand like this is jury management. Every single person sitting here, aside from 2 or 3 people, is the jury. Like there is no guessing of who it will be. It's just what order will they go and who will be the other 2 or 3 people standing. And I think like Brian and Mike have said, it's Survivor. So like I'll be honest, there were probably a couple people I wasn't like as truthful as I could have been today. But also at the end of the day, I got 5 votes last round. And like I gotta get somewhere to make sure that I get to the next round because I love being a bitter juror, but like maybe I can. I know we say we don't do goals about like placement, but like I would love to beat my placement. And so I think at the end of the day, like we're really just doing the best that we can. And I'm just thinking that like compared to my previous game that I played, I'm doing a lot better than I did last time because at the end of the day, I actually really am liking the people that I'm playing with. And so I just know that the next time that I play an org, I will definitely be playing another better version of myself because I played this one the way that I'm playing it.
Yeah. Let me ask one last question before I get to the final questions. I've asked a lot throughout the season. Does seasons matter? Do the people you've played with previously matter in this sense? And I've gotten a lot of no's, but I'm now hearing tonight at Tribal, according to you guys, that a big push was because of someone being a quote unquote bitter juror. So now it comes to effect. Does influence from previous seasons matter in a vote? And you're all shaking your head no, but you guys kind of said it today during Tribal.
I
There's no one.
mean,
I don't see the correlation.
yeah, like because like the way that I see it is that like yeah, you can play a past season with a certain player, but then you could also potentially burn them in this season, or more so if you work with them in the past, and then that'd be a different story. So it really comes down to like, which people that you've came across with in past games, or maybe more so in distortion season as well. Like every game is a different game, so dynamics change throughout. But yeah, like I don't think seasons play a factor in my opinion.
If you're coming in,
It's
if any one of
possible.
us are coming into playing with just their original season people, that's just a dumb strategy, in my opinion. You got to branch out and explore all avenues. So I don't think none of us are playing exclusively to be like, let's get my original season people to the end, and it'll
And
be great.
and guys,
I
I'm not
voted for people from my original season already, so you know.
and I'm not saying like, oh, like does seasons matter? Meaning like, are you exclusively working with them? But what I'm asking now is it having more influence in the game that you have played with some of these people? And I guess maybe now let's not turn it into a seasons thing, turn it into an org thing. Does the influence you had seeing people previously play different games influence the way that you've been thinking?
I think just from personal, like some people I do know, some people I don't. But the first thing you do when you get onto a new tribe is you say, have you met this person and what is their game style? Because that's what we're trying to do is figure out who we think we can work with and who we can. And then obviously it's eat or be eaten. And so I think knowing people's previous org history has been helpful, but I'm not basing all of my information off of that.
And remember one thing, it's always clean slate until it's not.
I'm just going to ask one more question just because I did want to kind of go back to the whole thing. Someone did say it, and it's the huge word that I've been touching on, and that's the word of respect. So in these war communities, sometimes or respect can get a little lost in between some of the gameplay. Do you guys feel like this is even higher, considering that this will probably be the last time that many of you will be playing Distortion? This is your second chance, your last chance for the most part. Do you feel like that might help blur the lines a little bit more?
That's a good question, Billy. I like that.
Not really.
A little confused by the question.
Like what I'm saying, this is the last time you're playing. Might be the last time you play Distortion. You guys came back for a second chance. Obviously, there's no more guarantees that you guys are gonna be able to play Distortion again. Would that guys be a little bit more cutthroat in making sure that you actually get a little bit further in this game?
I mean, if you're too cutthroat, then no one's gonna trust you and you're gonna get cut early. We're still at 12 fucking people left. If you're proving to be cutthroat now,
That's the
what's going to
question.
change at 7, at 6, at 5, at 4 when you really need trust in people? So right now you want to show people that you're loyal so that they'll trust you in the end.
And at the end of this, one person is going to be the winner. It's going to be the person that balanced being cutthroat, being loyal, being trustworthy, being whatever it's going to take to win this game. It's all about who's going to find out whatever it takes. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I'll ask my last questions. It
Okay.
seems like-
Sorry, can I just have one more thing?
Yeah,
for
of
that?
course.
I will say, because Billy, you're saying like this game is like in theory the last time that like a lot of us would be playing. The first time I played Distortion, I thought that was going to be my last time playing because I didn't know that there was going to be a Second Chances season. So personally, I'm not like how do I word this? Like the only way I'm treating this as a Second Chances season is to improve upon what I did last time. And personally, I think just placement wise, I've beaten that. So pushing that aside, I'm not really considering that as like this is the last time I'm gonna play it. So I gotta make this count. I gotta stab everybody in the back. I gotta do backflips and then pull an idol out or some dumb shit like that. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But like that's the farthest at least I'm considering a Second Chances moniker.
Okay. Let me ask this question. Raise your hand tonight if you think that you are getting votes. Not particularly that you're going home, but you think you are getting votes tonight. And everyone's hand is up except
I'll be nice and not raise my hand this time.
All right. Now the different question would be raise your hand if you think you're going home tonight. Raise your hand if you think you're joining Joppy in the jury. And once again, everyone's hands are up. Okay. And then last question. I require at least one of you to answer. If you had to compare this season to a previous Distortion theme, what season or what theme would it be and why?
Andromeda, because we're all up in the stars right now.
I was gonna say World's End because Samantha sucked and it made me want to end my world, if I'm being completely honest. That was awful. I do not know what algorithm in the sky decided that if I put Homer, Bart, and Marge, that it wouldn't give me Simpsons, but it would give me Potato. Because that makes sense in what world? Not mine. That world has ended.
Bars.
All right. Well, speaking of Bart Simpson, it's time to vote. Time to confirm, change, or submit your votes. You guys are live in the VL, so you can do any shout outs you want. And I'll be back to read the votes.
Okay, I do have two shout outs tonight, and then I promise I'll shut the fuck up. The first one is my podcast, Jacob Adorno, because I do love you, you sweet angel, and you know, we have our deal. The second shout out is to Morgan, who is crusty as fuck and was upset that I said I would give a shout out to Jacob and not Morgan. So, Morgan, this is your little shout out, and that's all you're getting. Thanks.
Shout out to my prod guests, Lyndon and Chris, as always.
Shout
Shout
out
outs to the prod team for talking me off talking about some really personal, crazy shit this past weekend. I love you all for that. Thank you.
Shout out to Hypnotic Big Brother. Season 3 is ending soon. Finale should be like tomorrow or Friday. We'll be streaming, so tune in if you can.
Shout out to J1 and David as my podcast, as well as Haley, my LED homie.
Yes, I'll shout out Joe and her. You guys are great. Great cons.
Shout out my roomie and podcast, Bevan. Love you.
We stand Bevan.
So how was
Shout out
everybody?
to us
Yeah.
because we have already brought our cast has brought the good gameplay and good entertainment this season, and we're going to continue bringing it.
I just want to say shout out to the Starbucks on that. It has great Wi-Fi. Thank you.
So does he write the same name down on like all the pieces of paper? Or does he just like write it once and hold it up a bunch of times?
He writes it once and then he does this really cool trick. So like pretend this is it. This is actually where my spoon was. So he takes it and then he goes like this. And then
You know, a good magician never reveals their secrets.
I've seen
it's
some.
the way I got muted. It was the way I got muted.
Seb has sleight of hand, so it's pretty talented.
I was gonna say I've seen some people if somebody sends like a little emoji, like when they're sending their votes, like I'm voting for this person, X emoji or something. Like they'll be like first vote, this person, and then the X emoji will be next to it. It's like a cute little way to do that.
I write 3 copies of each vote and then reuse the other ones until I run out because I don't want to write a name 10, 11 times.
I'm learning so much. Oh my gosh, it fell.
See, the way that I do it is that like when I was hosting my game, like I actually write down like how they would write it because it's like, it's based on cam. They go to the breakout room, they tell me their vote, they write it down, and I write it exactly how they write it. So that way it just looks like they actually casted their vote that way.
That's cute. I like that. Annihilation used to do that way back when. That's an old game.
Never heard of her.
No, she's old, Dusty, and she crusty. She gone.
I mean, probably as she should be.
No comment. Not a great.
Did Zeb get lost or something?
I was gonna say, isn't this a little longer than usual?
Suspenseful.
There's only one person counting votes. Seb's Skype isn't working.
Oh damn.
So
Sorry, Seb. We don't mean to bully you.
I just want to know.
Yeah, Nana, shut up.
What do you want to know, Nick?
In a nice way.
I just want to know how hard it is for y'all to have any semblance of fucking patience.
We're not doctors, Nick. We don't have patience.
Actually, Dr. Hannah is a doctor.
Okay,
she does have patience. Not yet, as far as I know. Dr. Hannah might change her mind. She might come back.
Season 8, blood versus water. Set it up.
Do you know how quickly I would flip on my mom? Do you understand how quickly I'd flip on her? Are you kidding? I'm going to air out our tribe chat. My mom threatened to disguise my future child that has not been born yet, nor am I pregnant. You think I would keep that bitch in a game? Bitch in the kindest way possible. She's my mother and I love her.
That would be the best. That would be the best start of a season.
We already did.
She voted out her mom.
Could you? My mom in jury chat being like, she said she was bitter. Now wait for me. Like, she'd turn it into a therapy session.
At least you get your mom to jury.
No, just have her be the mayor of Ponderosa and just like she could be the whoever goes there after.
I'd like to apologize to Seb for not counting votes like I normally do.
That's fine. Anyways, I had the votes. But first, if anyone has a hidden immunity idol or an advantage and they'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right, all votes are locked. When I read the votes, the person will have just a couple of seconds to say their goodbyes, leave the Zoom, and leave the announcements chat. I'll read the votes. First vote. Nick. Second vote. Vicky. Third vote. Nick. Fourth vote. Vicky. Fifth vote. Nick. Sixth vote. Vicky. Seventh vote. Nick. Eighth vote. Vicky. Ninth vote. Nick. 10th vote. Vicky. 11th vote. Vicky. 12th vote. And the 10th person voted out of Distortion Survivor Timeline of Terror. And the second juror is Vicky. Vicky, if you have any final words, now would be the time to say them.
Oh, how I would love to say this. I want to start off by saying, Jackie, you're queen. You already have my vote to win because you really went around here dominating everybody. Mike, you are a true king and you're amazing. The reason that I didn't talk to you is because you didn't talk to me. Jonathan, Boo Boo Bear, you are absolutely fabulous. Love you. Brian, you're a little snake. Roberto, you're great. Adam, I hope you get far. Austin, thank you for everything. Alex, thank you for not bullshitting with me and for staying the same. Cam, you're going to be voted out next because nobody actually liked your game. And Lauren, you are an absolute queen. For the people that wanted to get me, you got me. Thank you so very fucking much. And yeah, Nick, I hope your day comes soon. Love you all. Au revoir.
Nikki, it's been amazing hosting you, but the tribe has spoken. You may leave the Zoom. All right, everyone. Congratulations on making Final 11 of Distortion Survivor Timeline of Terror. My only hint for the next challenge, an old friend might be coming back. That's all I have to say.